Ohio State 27, Michigan 9. Curse is broken, people. Curse is broken. 2.5 chali on this game. The snow always adds the obligatory half chali. This game got pretty boring, I'm told, in the second half. Now, the reason I say that sarcastically is because Ohio State folks couldn't care less. Boring is beautiful to them. But I've seen some of the correspondence from the haters today. The haters think I missed on this game, Jesse. The haters tuned out after Tuesday last week. And it is true that in the Tuesday prediction video, I laid out a full case for Ohio State to win the game, only to pick Michigan, because I've been wrong about this game the past 4 years, and I'm really tired of looking like a clown. Some people say my picks on the game have nothing to do with me looking like a clown. I was just born that way. And to that I say, shame on you. Shame on you. But I would also say, what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong about it all? You are. I woke up yesterday morning, and I realized I had done something terrible. I had gone against my conscience. And my conscience was, Ohio State's going to win this game. So I hit up friend of the program, Will Compton. And I said, what do I do about this? And I mean, you know, he's always there for good advice. You got to follow your heart. What does your heart tell you? Well, my heart tells me Ohio State by 50 today. But I'm not going to pick a margin of victory. But I do want to pick Ohio State. What do I do? Well, hey, buddy, it's only 11:50 a.m. You still got time to do whatever you want to. I flipped my pick. And I told him, I need you to screenshot it. So he screenshot it. And then at the conclusion of the game yesterday, which truthfully was a little bit after halftime, he released it. And some people said this doesn't count. I don't care if you think it counts, because it's just picking a college football game. There are no rules. We can do whatever we want to. As it turns out, Ohio State could do pretty much whatever they wanted to yesterday. This game was not all that complicated. After all the 4-year buildup, all they had to do was go in there and take care of a couple of padlock stats. The first, it's a paper popper. It's very simple. As we told you Tuesday, the team that rushes for the most yards in this game has been golden since 2001, without fail. The team that leads in the rushing category has won every game. Ohio State 186, Michigan 100. Ball game. The second half was especially violent, 110 to -8. So, yeah, that'll get the job done. However, if that's not enough for you, if you're listening and saying, oh, maybe Ohio State broke one long run and then they turned it over, that's not a padlock stat. That wouldn't tell me everything I need to know about the game. Ohio State had more plays in a drive in the second half, without communication from the box, by the way, than Michigan had the entire second half. They went on a 20-play drive, 11 minutes, 56 seconds. It was like watching Alexander lead an army, but instead of, in a mountain range somewhere over in the Netherlands or Europe, it was Ann Arbor. And it was Ryan Day, as it turns out. I can see Ryan Day. Just go kill some really, really big animal and throw it over him, and then put a staff in his hand, take his headset off, because apparently it's not working by that point anyway. And it didn't matter. It was straight up Pop Warner. Julian saying, run a play. We got 4.5. We got 5. Okay, run over here to the sideline right quick. We're going to call it into you and just go do the same thing again 19 more times, and we'll just never give them the ball back. So, yeah, it turns out that's also a pretty sound strategy. The competitive character of Ohio State's pretty incredible. So I've probably been a bigger admirer of that than any one thing they've done this year. Julian Sains had a good year. Maybe he'll win the Heisman. I don't know. They've got incredible receiver talent. They've got really good talent everywhere. But go back to the first quarter. Oh, everyone looks at the final, 27-9. History will remember this as a blowout. It bordered on a splattering. Put one more touchdown on the board, I was ready to fire off the tweet. That's how history will remember it. But I would like you, since we are, about 30 or so hours removed from this game, do me a favor and go back in time. You don't have to go back to the start of the game. Go back to midway through the first quarter. Michigan's, kind of hit him in the mouth just a little bit. Jesse said probably more like a slap. Nevertheless, contact was made to Ohio State's face with Michigan's hand, figuratively, to start this game. And I was perusing Twitter. I was in my hotel room getting ready to head over to Auburn, and I saw a few people say, uh-oh, this feels familiar. Uh-oh, looks like it's happening again. Did you feel that way? It doesn't appear Ohio State did, but did you feel that way? All right, this is where I want to talk about competitive character for a second. I think it's more important than anything in the box score, and more important than any statistic. They played like the most battle-tested team in the country. You've seen those teams that have been in a whole bunch of close games, so they look totally comfortable when they trail early in a game later in the year. Ohio State hasn't been that team. Ohio State has trailed virtually none the whole year. Ohio State has held their first 12 opponents to under 17 points. That's the first time any team has done that since Florida in 1975. Paper popper of a stack. And yet you would have watched them yesterday and thought, man, this team's playing like their back's been against the wall since late September. And the other thing they played with is a total collective amnesia, a total disregard for recent history, because not only did they get hit a little bit and they trailed early. Hey, do me one favor right here. Look down. Are you subscribed to the channel? If you are, thank you. If you're not, please click subscribe. It helps us keep the show free and free of corporate interference. All right, that's it for me. Back to the clip. Not only that, Julian Saint throws a pick, which I'm told was impossible for him to do. Not only is all that happening, and they have no problem with it, they've lost the last 4. There are serious allegations out there that this has nothing to do with the neck down. It's a neck up. It's a mental thing for Ohio State. They're like in that position. And look, if the Fox cameras would have tuned in at the right time, we may have even caught a couple of yawns on the Ohio State sideline. That's how suspiciously comfortable they felt in that position. It's competitive character. It's the vibe. It's the environment they create in that building. It's so hard to do. It's the hardest thing in the world to do. And you may think to yourself, that's not hard at all. They've played inferior competition this year. That's easy. No, it's not. No, it's easy for Ohio State to beat Rutgers on a Saturday. That's true. But that's not what I said. I didn't say they've beaten a bunch of teams. They've beaten a bunch of teams while preserving the characteristics of a team that has been in dogfights all year, even though they haven't been pressed. It's just competitive character's insane. Ryan Day may be doing the best job coaching that he's ever done this year, and he's getting very little credit for it because, well, they don't judge you until the end of the year if you win a national title, and that's when people decide whether you were a good coach or not. I know that because this time a calendar year ago, many people didn't think he was the right guy for Ohio State, period. So we don't need to relive that. That's ancient history. Julian saying 0 pressures yesterday. It's a little different. It's a little different. When Michigan can't get consistent pressure and stop the run with 4, it's a little different the way that game plays out. Their defense is amazing, man. Matt Patricia's hire. It's so funny. It's like watching the end of this game, watching the final score versus how you felt 6 minutes into the game. A little bit different. Well, Matt Patricia, when he first got hired, how you felt versus how you feel now. It makes you want to erase how you felt. It's kind of embarrassing in retrospect that anyone ever doubted it. Just like it's embarrassing in retrospect if you ever thought Michigan had a shot in this game early on. Do you know how desirable the Ohio State defensive coordinator position is, or any position on their staff is? Ryan Day could have conducted a national search, and he would have had a hoopst of defensive personnel in the country beating down his door. There are several head coaches at the G5 and even P4 level that would gladly have taken a promotion to be the defensive coordinator at Ohio State, because that's absolutely what that is. And he went and got Matt Patricia. And everyone said, he do what now? Do what? Matt Patricia. Oh, no, he didn't stutter. Yeah, Matt Patricia. And here we are. They're better. They're better than they were last year. I don't even know how it's possible. They just got a bunch of answers. I think it was Joel Klatt on the broadcast yesterday. He put it really, really well. He articulated it really well. He said, while a lot of the other contenders down the stretch just leave you with more and more questions, this team keeps giving you nothing but answers. Like quarterback, no doubt. Wide receiver, that there hasn't been a doubt. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, they had to replace both. Check. Running back position. I was at Auburn last night, and they honored the 40th anniversary of Bo Jackson's Heisman season, and it wasn't even the most memorable Bo Jackson moment of the day yesterday. Watching Ohio State with a tailback named Bo Jackson, that was more memorable. All due respect to Bo at Auburn. but there hasn't been a wake-up call all year. Like, if you're trying to pick them apart, the one thing you have to cling to is there's a wake-up call coming where someone finally gets them out into the deep end, into the fourth quarter, and, they're good enough and they specifically match up well enough. And, maybe that's like Oregon last year. Ohio State emphatically did that to Oregon, and it didn't matter that they were the 1 seed and they were undefeated, because once you lose in the playoffs, you're out. Short of that, if Ohio State's not going to be vulnerable, then the window, the field of who can win the national title is very, very, very small. It may be one team deep, honestly. As for the Michigan side of things, I understand a lot of folks who were saying today this really kind of deflates Sharon Moore. And I get that. I kind of feel that way. I think it's fair to feel that way. That doesn't mean give up on him. That doesn't mean sell on him. It's nothing like that. But this was kind of what Sharon Moore had. He had either been a part of the staffs or been a head coach of the Michigan staffs that were part of this 4-year run. And now that run is done. So outside of that, you look around, and they had a bad year last year, other than the Ohio State win at the end of the year and the Bama Bowl game. But outside of that, there was nothing to write home about. And this year, they're going to finish 9-3. But they lost the 3 biggest games, yesterday, plus the Oklahoma game, plus the USC game. In those 3 games, they scored 13, 13, and 9. So what is Sharon Moore going to become? What's the best version of Michigan under Sharon Moore? Totally fair question. The Cignetti curse is real, by the way, with anyone who's asking for patience. I mean, you got a guy come in the door at Indiana and light the world on fire immediately, and no one has patience for you anymore at Michigan to take several years to build a winner. Is that fair? Probably not. Is it reality? Yes, it is. Big Ten championship game Saturday. Speaking of Indiana, they are 5.5-point dogs against Ohio State.